Hello everyone, welcome to the last part of React portfolio. So in the previous video we have worked on how to make dynamic cards using React and Select slider. I showed you how you can change your arrows and how to make your custom dots in React Select. And in this video we are gonna work on the footer part. You can see we have some text like addresses, contacts, and some social media icons. On the right side, we have a form where your clients can send some inquiries to you. And finally, I will show you how to make a button to jump to the first part of the portfolio. So I hope you like this video. Please make sure to like and give a subscribe to my channel. Let's get started. Welcome back everyone. So to start this part, we need to make a new folder and call it footer. Inside it, we will have a file called footer.jsx, and then I just initialize the React code. Now to display this component, we just go to app.js, and we need to grab this project div because we need that dark background. So under the client component, we add this div and import our footer inside it. But because we have a projects component and project div, to not misunderstand, let's change the name of the div to light color. Now you can see that we have the footer text with light color. Alright, let's go back to the footer and change the div with the style as component div. I'm gonna call this container. Inside this, we need to have two divs for left and right. So one is profile and the other one is form. We need to call them down here for styling. Now let's begin with the profile div. So we add an h1 for the title. Then we need to have a div with the class of address. And inside it, we have an h1 and a p tag for the addresses. Now we need to add the social icons. So I add a div with the class name of links. Inside it, we add an h1 for the title. Now for each icon, we need to have a separate div and a span tag for the icons. Let's first import the icon from the React Icons library. The first icon is contact icon. I just copy and paste the icons and then a link for the mobile contact. So if you want this link to direct you to the phone call, just add this tail attribute before your number. Then we have another div for the email, and this mail to is to direct to the email page once you click the link. Okay, now let's work on social icons. We are gonna add a div with the class of profile. Inside it, we have an h1 title. Then we add a div with the class of icons for all the icons. The last thing that left is a button for jumping to the beginning of the page. So I add an arrow up div and paste this icon inside it. Then call it down here. Alright, now it is time to style them. So for the container, we need to have some margin top, position relative, because we will need to add a position absolute to the arrow button later on. A padding, a width, a maximum width, margin 0 auto to put them in the center, and for the responsive part we just add this 90% width. Now let's style the profile. At first I grabbed the address div, gave it a padding. For the H1 I changed the font size. For the p tag I gave it a weight of 60% and a padding. Then I grabbed the links div. For the H1 I changed the font size and gave it a margin button. For each and every div inside the links, I just gave it a display flex to separate links from the text, align items, and a gap of 0.5 rem. For each link, just get rid of this underline, change the color, and I'm gonna give it a hover effect. Finally, I grab the profile class that holds the social icons. At first, I grab the H1, change the font size, and give it a padding. For the icons div, we need to give display flex to separate them and align items center. For every span tags, I add display flex, align item center, and change the background color. Now to make a shape, we give a width of 2 rem and height of 2 rem. Then we are gonna add a little margin to the right and make the border radius to 50 pixels to make it a circle. Now you can see we have a circle shape, but the icons are not in the middle. Let's check. Okay, we need to add a justify content to the center as it will let the div to center whatever elements it's holding. Now for every link that holds the icons, we give a margin top and a white color. Now they are looking good. Alright, now let's add a hover effect. So styleless component is working pretty much like SAS. Just add this hover element in the environment of the span tag. Then I just change the background color in hover. Alright, now let's style the arrow. For this we need to have a width and height with the same size and a background color of green. Then we need to center the arrow. So I'm gonna add the following code and a cursor pointer. Okay, I change the font size, the font width, and give it a margin top of 2 rem. Alright guys, we are done with the left side. Now let's implement the right side. In the right side we are gonna have a form. So inside the form div we add a form element. Please do not misunderstand these two forms. The first form with the capital F is a div that came from the styleless component, and if you remember I said you can name it whatever you want. In this case I named that form. And the second one is an HTML form that let us submit an inquiry. Okay, inside the second form we have a div with the class of name, and inside it we are gonna have a span tag that holds the icon and an input. I copy it for the email and copy the email icon and copy it one more time for the message, but the message box will have a text area instead of input because text area is more wide than input. And finally, we will have button for submission. Alright, now inside the container, we are gonna add a display flex and justify content to space between to separate both the left and right side. Now let's style the form. Down here under the form div, we give it a flex one to take more spaces. And then for the each one, I change the font size and add a padding bottom. For the form itself, I'm gonna change the background color and give it a padding. Okay, we need a border radius too. Now I grab every div with their class name. I'm gonna give a display flex and a gray border. And for the input and text area, I give a weight of 100%, get rid of this border and outline, change the color and background color, and a padding. Now you can see the form is looking great. Alright, let's style the icons now. So I grab the span tag, add a background color, a weight, and to center them we add the following code. But you can see the message icon is not in the right place. So to fix it, I give a class name to the message icon span. Grab it down here, and inside it I just give a line item to flex start. Okay, we give a little padding too. Now you can see the icons are looking great. Now let's style the button. So I grab the button, give it a weight of 5 rem and a height of 1.8 rem. A background color. I just remove the border. I give it a border radius of 5 pixels. A little drop shadow. And a cursor pointer. Now it is looking great. So let's give it a hover effect. So I add a hover element and just copy paste this filter and change the 4 pixels to 6 pixels so it looks more bigger. Okay guys, as you notice the text weight is smaller. That is because we added a flex one to the form div, so it took more spaces. Now we need to share the spaces equally between both left and right sides. So I just go under the profile div and add flex one similar to form div. Now you can see our text has enough spaces. Alright guys, we are done with the styling. Now let's make it. Alright guys, we are done with the styling. Now let's make it responsive. Okay guys, now you have a complete responsive portfolio made using React and Style component. Thanks for watching the entire series of React portfolio videos. I hope you learned something in React using these videos. If you like more content in React and Vanilla.js, please make sure to give a subscribe to my channel to be aware of upcoming videos.